I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I'm the head coach for JobSearchCoachingHQ.com and NoBSCoachingAdvice.com. And welcome to another episode of Job Search Radio. I have the idea that networking is one of these areas that most people struggle at. And they think they don't have a lot of experience with it. But they actually do. You actually do. And I'm just going to use an illustration from a time early in life where you learn networking skills. And that is being a child, being taken to a park, a playground, hanging out after school. And what you were doing at times, I'll use the sandbox as an example. Your mom and or dad plunked you down in a sandbox with a pail. I'm going to work with a stereotype here, and maybe a shovel, and you just started to play. And then another kid would get plunked down into the sandbox, and they started to play. And sometimes you threw sand at one another and you got corrected, and then you started to play with one another, right? And maybe you made friends, and maybe it was friends for a day. But you made a friend, and you learned to play with one another, and you got better at it. And you progressed to, maybe you played sports, maybe it was in school, but you learned to make friends with people. And I think the term networking has started to overwhelm the notion of what networking really is. And that is developing friendships, developing relationships with people that have meaning to you and to them. Now, I know we tend to let go of some of our old friends, but I'll just use myself as an example. Recently, a number of us got together. We hadn't seen one another in 20 years, and we made a trip to visit someone who we'd grown up with who was not in great health. And it had meaning for us. We got back together. It was a great connection. And it really was like being back in the Bronx again and spending time with one another, reconnecting. As adults now, we haven't seen one another in a long time, but we knew what to do. And that was share some old stories, bring one another up to date. And that's really how you can reconnect with your old network. With meeting new people, you have to put yourself back into the sandbox. And by that I mean, get yourself away from the things and the places that you always go and go to someplace new and try and make connection with people. I was at an event last night in my town, and I caught myself hugging the wall for a little bit. Me, can you imagine me hugging the wall and not really out there talking with folks? And then I did, and met someone who I'm going to connect with in the next week or two, and she looks like a prospective coaching client for me. You can do the same sort of thing. And I'll just simply say whether she is or she isn't. What it did for me is remind me of getting away from the comfort, which is really uncomfortable, of not doing what I was there to do, which was make new friends. And from there, start talking to folks and connecting with folks. And there was another guy I was talking with who worked for a security firm. There's a Chamber of Commerce event in my town. And, made a nice connection with him. And I'll message him and we'll try and get together and, nice conversation. Again, networking is like being a child at a very young age, making friends. Afterwards, it's not about the one-time meeting, it's what happens afterwards. Does your mom or dad take you over to their house to play? Well, you have to get together with them and start to play too. So I hope you found this helpful. And if you did, please give the show 5 stars on iTunes or Stitcher. It helps other people discover the show. If you'd like to connect with me on LinkedIn, send a connection request to me at linkedin.com/IN/the Big Game Hunter. Mention that you listen to the show because I love to hear from you. And I know and learn that the show has been helpful to you. And if you give me a recommendation on LinkedIn, I'd love that too. Again, linkedin.com/IN/the Big Game Hunter. A final thing, if you'd like me to coach you, I'd be happy to do that. visit my website, thebiggamehunter.us. Use the tabs on the top, or just send me an email at jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us, and we'll schedule a time to speak. Hope you have a great day. Take care.